didn't feel the slightest. They even used anti-tank weapons, causing part of the body, organs, and blood of 096 to be gone. But it was still able to move forward and destroy the entire team. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Euclid class object SCP-096. SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. SCP-096 shows very little muscle mass, with a preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. It has no sign of any body hair. Its skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, and it probably doesn't have pupils either. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall, and it doesn't seem to need food. Based on its response, the researchers are determined that 096 is very shy. It tries to stay as far to humans as possible. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, we'll call this person SCP-096-1. Whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the viewing, SCP-096 will begin running towards SCP-096-1. It moves at 35 kilometers an hour and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1. If it is very far away, it will be able to run very fast. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to attack and kill SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. Then the Foundation staff will take it back to the SCP shelter. The most extreme case at present is that someone saw only a part of its picture and was also killed by it. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. In one of the audio recordings, the former commander of the recovery team said, even if they were firing it intensely, but it didn't feel anything at all. They even used anti-tank weapons, causing part of the body, organs, and blood of 096 to be gone. But it was still able to move forward and destroy the entire team. Besides, because it does not cover its face when it's running towards its target, anyone who sees it will be killed by it along the way. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, a doctor of the Foundation has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. The Foundation has carried out several execution experiments, one of which is to send the containment tank containing SCP-096 into SCP-682's cell. SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It has a powerful regeneration ability and adaptability, and also has the title of Immortal Body. If you want to know more about SCP-682, do click on this video. So back to the execution experiment. The screams of the two entities continue for 27 hours, at which point the noise abruptly stops. Sonar-based video feeds reveal SCP-096 severely wounded and huddled in the southwest corner, apparently upset. Feed shows SCP-682 on the north end of the room, approximately 85% of its initial mass absent. Further attempts to expose SCP-096 to SCP-682 cause it to turn away from 682, jumping in place while clawing at its face and screaming. Because 096 will only attack when people see its face, so the Foundation has long housed it in an airtight steel cube. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Any and all photos, videos, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden.
Yeah, then what about
but it's said that an abstract painting or its cartoon image is not prohibited because it won't stimulate the emotional distress reaction of 096. I hope you enjoyed today's video.
like paper and stuff. Oh yeah, I was gonna watch it. Hold on. I think I might do SCP. Okay. This guy no likes? What? How this got no likes right here? Wait, I got a YouTube notification. Oh, quick crap, help me. Oh, never mind. But still though, how this got no likes? Oh wait, it was in the description, right? Right? Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Papa John's new garlic epic stuffed crust pizza.
In it, on it.
Still
with
no
it.
Order
likes?
now on the app for $13.99.
I don't typically like our experiences.
It's taking me through a world of emotions.
SCP-682 begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. Finally, 682 breaks containment, attack against several agents, staff, and researchers, resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Class Object Kita, SCP-682. SCP-682 is one of the most popular in SCP Foundation. 682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin, famous for traits that are almost impossible to be destroyed. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with other SCP. 682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. 682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. Its physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material, and can gain energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. 682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and it has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. When being asked why it kills those innocent farmers, it refused to answer at first, but after forced to answer by a doctor, 682 assault one of the personnel, and answer they were disgusting. Due to the highly aggressive, adaptive, and intelligent nature of 682, termination testing has been ordered by Foundation. The only problem is the number of termination testing have been conducted close to 100, yet none of them have been success. Among the many execution records, the most classic of which is the attempt to use SCP-409 on 682. 409 is a very dangerous quartz crystal. Any objects coming in contact with 409 will begin to crystallize after 3 hours. After complete crystallization, the object will bursting into thousands of fragments with great force. Upon exposure, 682's crystallization begins. It shows signs of extreme pain and begins having seizures, but the crystallization stops at 62% conversion with unknown reason. Its crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682. 1 hour later, 682 recovers from exposure, despite the loss of limbs and organs. It begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in this event. Due to the failure of SCP-409, major concerns raised about possible developed immunities and possible adaptations. All future termination tests must first be carried out on tissue samples taken from 682. In another termination testing, 682 quickly presses against the wall farthest from SCP-173, staring at it the entire time. SCP-173 cannot move while within a direct line of sight, but once the line of sight is broken, it will move in high speed and attack by snapping the neck of the victim. 682 continues to stare at 173 without pause for 6 hours. Realize this situation, agents equipped with large caliber sniper rifles dispatched and shoot out the eyes of 682. After resuming observation, 682 is shown to be on the floor with several injuries around its head, neck, and legs. It rapidly regenerates from damage and moves to a different wall, developing several sets of eyes on various parts of its body, many covered by thick, clear caps of armored carapace. 682 maintains observation of 173 for an additional 12 hours, despite additional efforts of agents and Foundation staff. At the end, Foundation staff have no other way but to end this testing. Termination testing with SCP-162 has once again proved the exceptional vitality and adaptability of 682. Touching SCP-162 will immediately result in several hooks becoming embedded in the subject's skin. Subject will bleed profusely, resulting in death after a prolonged period of time. 682 exposed to 162. It begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. After 4 minutes of continued exposure, 682 lunges away from SCP-162, severing its lower jaw and left hind limb, and causing serious tissue damage to many areas of its body. 682 breaks containment, attack against several agents, staff, and researchers, resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. So,
Not gonna lie, that's what they get. Why they're trying to like,
It's a little squeak that
bruh.
say beam.
you know it. This time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. 682 should be contained within chamber.
Bro, be right back. I gotta pee.
Acid until it is submerged and incapacitated. I hope you enjoyed today's video.
Sorry about that.
Have you ever heard or encountered any paranormal event? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this.
I think, yeah, hit the bell too. The Kane, SCP Kane.
Cyber warfare engineers are the Navy's hackers.
It's really a high-stakes technical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
And,
Police discovered 053 in the deceased bodies of the couple within the same room. Madeline had died from multiple stab wounds inflicted by Andrew, who had died from a massive heart attack. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Euclid Class Object SCP-053. SCP-053, also known as the Young Girl, is a small 3-year-old girl. She is capable of basic speech and appears to be slightly above average in terms of mental development. Her personality is generally pleasant, and she rarely seems to get upset. However, she will appear agitated when in a large group. Any and all humans over the age of 3 who engage in eye contact and physical touch, or those who remain around 053 for longer than 10 minutes, rapidly become irrational, paranoid, and homicidal.
Homicidal?
Most, if not all, of these feelings will be directed at 053, and afflicted subjects will attempt to kill 053 after first killing or driving off all humans visible to them. Those attempting to kill 053 will suffer massive heart attacks or seizures and die seconds after inflicting physical damage to 053. However, 053 has a healing factor that allows her to regenerate almost instantaneously from any wound. According to a recovery log, SCP-053 was discovered on July 10, 2008, in Pennsylvania, at the residence of Andrew and Madeline. Police who attempted to interact with 053 also suffered from 053's anomalous effects, resulting in 5 additional casualties before implanted Foundation agents assessed the situation and properly secured the subject. Class A amnestic drugs were administered to all non-personnel involved, including Andrew's parents in Florida, as they had been exposed to information regarding SCP-053 through communication with Andrew. Since June 5, 2004, Andrew had been sending his mother news and updates on SCP-053. They named her as Abby. Below is the documentation log from 4 years ago. First email about Abby, to July 10, 2008, the last email sent out by Andrew to his mother. June 5, 2004. Hey Mom, sorry I haven't emailed you throughout the past month. Things have been pretty busy, but I have great news. You're gonna be a grandma. We found out yesterday that Maddie's pregnant, and we've already started turning the guest room into a baby room. Good thing I got a pay raise last week. We gotta think of the baby now. Hope to hear from you soon.
Be right back.
March 7th, 2005.
Back.
She was born last night around 10 at night. Madeline's water broke as she was going to sleep. We drove to the hospital so fast, I think I almost hit someone. Jesus, waiting for the doctors to deliver her felt like years. Now, as I type this email, she's downstairs, fast asleep in Maddie's arms. We named her Abby, and she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'll send pictures soon. March 8th, 2006. Hey Mom, Abby's first birthday was yesterday. Howard and Rachel even showed up. Got to see their niece for the first time.
Oh.
Too bad you and Dad are all the way down in Florida. We'll have to visit when Abby's older. Love you. June 24th, 2008. There's been an accident. We were at the playground and we took our eyes off of her for 1 second, and she fell off of the jungle gym and landed on her head. I saw blood. The doctor said she'll recover fine, but I can't sleep. It is all my fault. June 25th, 2008. The hospital called and said that Abby will have to stay there for a few more days, but she's all patched up and on the fast track to recovery. No brain damage or anything, it seems. I'm just glad my baby is gonna be okay. July 2nd, 2008.
What happened?
Mom, there's something wrong with Abby. I mean, she looks and acts perfectly fine, but I know something isn't right with her. Madeline says she feels it too.
What?
We started feeling it after Abby's injury at the playground. We've had the doctors look her over, but as far as they're concerned, they couldn't identify any permanent damage, physical or mental. But I just know there's something wrong with her.
Oh, yeah, you see
July
the drawing
5th,
right there?
2008.
Yeah.
We got an email from Dr. Williams today. He says that he's been able to identify problems exist in Abby, but he can't determine if they're physical or mental. It just doesn't make any sense, he says. He claimed that whenever he was around her, he couldn't shake the feeling of wrongness. The staff who were working with him agreed, apparently. He didn't tell us at first because he didn't want Maddie and I to worry. But it appears that he just couldn't keep quiet any longer. What's wrong with my daughter? July 9th, 2008. I can't even look at Abby for more than a few seconds at a time now. There's something about her now, and it just shouldn't be. When I'm around her, I just get this awful, indescribable feeling.
You're
Like
being
I'd rather be
homicidal.
anywhere else but next to my own daughter. I try and limit my interaction with her as much as I possibly can. It's terrible. But being around her, it makes me want to throw up. It's inside of her, in her eyes, in her skin, everything about her. I just don't know what it is. July 10th, 2008.
You're
I touched her hand. It felt so wrong. Madeline said she felt it too, but she believes that it's something inside of her. I'm gonna kill them both. I'm gonna kill that and I'm gonna kill that thing. It needs to die. After receiving the last email, Andrew's mother quickly phoned the local police to check on his son.
It's him.
Soon after, police discovered 053 and the deceased bodies of the couple within the same room. Madeline had died from multiple stab wounds inflicted by Andrew, who had died from a massive heart attack shortly afterward, believed to have been caused by 053's anomalous effects. Following this incident, 053 was contained by the Foundation. 053 is to be contained in an area no less than 5 by 5 meters and given adequate room to move. Toys, books, games, and other recreational devices are to be provided and rotated every 3 months. proper bedding, bathroom, and medical facilities are to be maintained at all times. In addition, 053 is also given 3 meals a day,
Okay,
alongside
so that-
snacks if requested.
Okay, so 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Anyone who enters her chamber must wear an eye-covering suit for safety concerns.
Yep.
And while
Okay.
gifts from her are allowed to be accepted, they must be removed from the room.
Why?
Only one person is allowed in her room in any given instance, and they are only permitted to stay for no longer than 10 minutes. Any sharp objects or firearms are banned from her room, and anyone who begins to act erratically, scream, or attempt to grab 053 are to be removed and quarantined.
Ah.
In a termination test, the Foundation introduced SCP-682 to
Why?
SCP-053. 682 appeared to be very confused and showed no signs of being affected by 053. Initially, 053 appeared to be afraid of 682 and
Yeah,
hid behind a
'cause he's,
chair in her
like,
containment
scary.
area. 682 then lowered itself to the ground, resting its head on the floor, and spoke after a while. 053 approached 682. And after several seconds of hesitation, she briefly touched SCP-682 before quickly returning to her hiding place. 682 had no reaction. 053 approached 682 and pat its head, causing it to exhale through its forward nostrils. SCP-053 clapped and hopped in place several times before embracing the head of SCP-682. For the remainder of the testing period, 682 did not feel frustrated by spending time with this small child, like he did in every other test. He understood that the child was a hated thing as well, one that had suffered like him. They were alike in that way. He had attempted to break out a few times anyways, to find out where the disgusting researchers were watching from and find out if they had hurt her as they had him. This had, however, frightened 053. So, for the time being, he allowed himself to be decorated with a cowboy hat that was too small. Although he appreciated how oddly pleasant and relaxing it was when her tiny arms hugged his scarred, scaly back and demanded to be carried around. Eventually, 053 grew tired, yawning and rubbing her eyes with tiny fists. 682 lifted the child carefully in his teeth by the back of her shirt and carried her off to bed, placing her gently on the mattress and circling the bed once, twice, 3 times, before curling around her in a protective little ring. Soon enough, 053 was fast asleep, and he was her new protector. Remember to check out my new animation channel, The Rubber Talks,
Maybe because she's a child.
where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end
Oh. Well, still though. That was good. Okay, time for SCP Kane. And Abel. Abel's right there. Let's start with Kane or Abel. Hold on. Kane. Yeah, I watched this before. Sorry. I just lied to everyone. I just lied.
Viewer discretion is advised. When information concerning SCP-076 was brought to the attention of SCP-073 for backing up, 073 showed familiarity with the information and was disinclined to adding to it. It then stated that it is best not to meet with SCP-076 out of consideration for all parties involved. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-073. SCP-073, also known as Kane, appears to be a heavily tanned male of Arabic or Middle Eastern descent in his early 30s, 6'1" tall and 75 kilograms, with black hair and blue eyes. Arms, legs, spinal cord, and shoulder blades of 073 appear to have been replaced with artificial versions of unknown make and metal. 073 only takes notice of this when it is pointed out, and states that it has no knowledge of how, why, or when these replacements took place, stating it had had them as long as it could remember. Examination of the unidentified metal on SCP-073 has suggested that it is beryllium bronze, a metal that has been documented as being utilized by various anomalous cultures and entities. In light of this discovery, the Foundation began working in an attempt to trace the origin of beryllium bronze and how it initially spread throughout the world. When prompted, SCP-073 was able to provide information suggests that beryllium bronze originated in the Middle East, though the exact point of origin has yet to be determined. Further research into the origin of beryllium bronze is currently ongoing. There is also a symbol engraved into the forehead of 073, which appears to be of Sumerian origin. Symbol has of yet been untranslated, and 073 appears distressed when the symbol is mentioned at all, refusing to speak on it. 073 does need to eat and drink on a regular basis, but is strictly carnivorous, owing to its effect on plant-based items. 073 is generally polite and genial to all who speak to it, though it has been described as cold and somewhat mechanical in its speech. 073 is extremely helpful and enjoys aiding personnel in their daily actions, whatever they may be. It has highly detailed knowledge of ancient to recent events in history, and most commonly spoken languages in the world, including ones that have since died out. 073 has professed to have a photographic memory, remembering word for word all text in an 800-page dictionary that was flipped through in a minute and a half. It has scored above average in all intelligence tests given to it. SCP-073's presence is inimical to all life grown in soil, causing death to any life within a 20-meter radius. Any land 073 has walked on, and any within the 20-meter radius, becomes barren, as all anaerobic bacteria dies, rendering the soil incapable of supporting life, until new bacteria are introduced. Anything that is derived from soil-grown life, such as wood and paper, immediately rots and disintegrates upon touch of 073. Further affected derivatives include anything hydroponically grown. Any damages directly towards 073 will reflect directly back onto the attacker, although 073 visibly remains unharmed. Attempts to get tissue and blood samples have proven futile. When the procedure was initiated, personnel carrying out the action felt the sensation of whatever was applied to 073 and wound up with a sample of their own blood or tissue, despite the fact that all actions were directed solely at 073. Indirect damage through a medium also results in the person perpetrating the action receiving the wounds caused. Although 073 receives no actual harm from damage to its person, it is stated that it still feels the pain of the action, and has politely asked researchers to abstain from overly harmful actions to its person. In light of SCP-073's indestructible nature, photographic memory, and general will to please, High Command have deemed that all information is to be backed up on 073, ensuring it is not lost in the event of a catastrophe. While this action has been met with mixed responses, 073 has agreed and sworn itself to secrecy on its part. SCP-073 was first found by the SCP Foundation in the New York Police Department, having been taken in after 073 had been found amidst the bodies of several violent gang members. 073 told police members that the gang had attempted to make fun of it, but became angry, and attempted to kill 073, resulting in their own demise. 073 was incarcerated, and was deemed a John Doe when NYPD could not find any information on it. 073 came to the attention of the Foundation through a routine inspection of John Does, and was subsequently released into the Foundation's custody. When information concerning SCP-076 was brought to the attention of SCP-073 for backing up, 073 showed familiarity with the information and was disinclined to adding to it. It then stated that it is best not to meet with SCP-076 out of consideration for all parties involved. SCP-076 consists of two components, a black speckled metamorphic stone, referred as SCP-076-1, and a humanoid entity contained within, referred as SCP-076-2. 076-2 resembles a lean, Semitic human male in his late 20s. For more information about SCP-076, check out this video. Rumor has it that 076-2 and 073 are based off the biblical characters Cain and Abel. In the
Adam
biblical
and
book
Eve.
of Genesis, Cain and Abel are the first two sons of Adam and Eve. Cain, the firstborn, was a farmer, and his brother Abel was a shepherd. The symbol engraved on 073's forehead is obviously the mark of Cain, and, at least according to the Bible, it makes the land barren around him. That is why all organic materials decompose when he is near. Although we're still not sure about their relationship, but we're definitely sure that 076-2 hates 073. Because upon sight of it, 076-2 became highly enraged and aggressive, killing several of the researchers. According to the Bible, Cain and Abel made sacrifices to Yahweh, the national God of the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Each of their own produce, but Yahweh favored Abel's sacrifice instead of Cain's. Cain then murdered Abel, whereupon Yahweh punished Cain by condemning him to a life of wandering. Cain then dwelt in the land of Nod, where he built a city and fathered the line of descendants beginning with Enoch. Hence, 076-2 seems to be reincarnated as a vengeful being. He just kills and kills, which seems like he is exacting revenge for being murdered by 073. Recently, a grade 3 researcher, Dorothy Zhang from the Chinese branch, had proposed a plan to the Containment Area 25 administrator that can possibly contain SCP-076 more efficiently. Dorothy suggested to add amnestic equipment to the killing corridor inside SCP-076-2's containment measures,
Sorry, I'm not
attempt to
talking,
erase
I'm
its
just
memory about
talking.
its death. The possible outcomes of the plan include a reduction in the state of anger and a reduction in the containment process. There was no foreseen injurious consequence, and the cost was within an acceptable range. Finally, the proposal was approved. After the procedure, 076-2 has forgotten. He quieted down and murmured with an unrecognizable language, wondering where he is. He stepped out of the corridor as the guards nervously watched him. An ancient Sumerian expert was soon sent to the scene to help communicate. He has forgotten. Staying in a standard humanoid containment room, 076-2 told the researchers that he wanted to go grazing. To satisfy his request, an indoor farm was soon built. They were still highly alert to 076-2, but he had a great time anyways. He asked the employees, who were dressed as biblical characters, of 073's trace. At first, they got away temporarily by telling him that 073 went to travel. Though he became much more persistent 2 months later, and even threatened the employees. More armed forces were arranged around 076-2's farm. They tried to come up with excuses that could be accepted by 076-2, but they have never thought of one. Soon, 076-2 realized that they were lying to him. He escaped from its containment room and finally met SCP-073. Surprisingly, there were no conflicts between 073 and 076-2. 073 apologized to 076-2, though 076-2 did not appear to comprehend what the apology was for. Since then, 073 was allowed to meet with 076-2 periodically. After this event, 076-2 was aging at the same speed as an ordinary human being and was estimated to die in a few years. By then, Containment Area 25 should recover all special containment methods that were used to contain SCP-076. The current 076-2 remained its state of death for 10 years, in which no 076-2 has been produced from 076-1 since. 076-2 is now considered neutralized. SCP-073 is currently kept in Site-17, a two-room cell furnished with all non-organic furniture and items, and a bathroom. 073 can freely wander the facility and eat in the main canteen. A tracking device has been attached to SCP-073's person and is not to be removed. It is disallowed any contact with the surface and is not allowed outside the facility. It is also not allowed to have any contact with plant-based SCPs under any circumstances. Violence is not to be used against 073 under any circumstances. Remember to check out my new animation channel, The Rubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Results in the person perpetrating the action receiving the polite bot 0 on it. The information and was SCP and a humanoid entity in his late 20s. For more information about SCP-076, check out this video. Rumor has it that 076-2 and 073 SCP-076-2 will enter a trance state and seek out the nearest human being. Upon coming into contact with living humans, he will enter a rage state in which it attempts to engage and kill all human beings encountered. To date, only his death has been shown to be effective in ending these rampages. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Keter-class object, SCP-076. SCP-076 consists of two components, a stone cube, SCP-076-1, and a humanoid entity contained within, SCP-076-2, also known as Abel. 076-1 is a 3-meter cube made of black speckled metamorphic stone. All surfaces outside and within 076-1 are covered in deeply engraved patterns corresponding to no known civilizations. Radioisotope analysis indicates that the object is approximately 10,000 years old. A door is located on one side, sealed with a lock 0.5 meters in width, surrounded by 20 smaller locks in a circular pattern. As of yet, none of the keys have been found, making the door impossible to lock once closed. Interior temperature is approximately -180 degrees Celsius and cannot be altered by any means, internal or external. Directly in the center of the room is a 2.13-meter tall stone coffin, held in place and sealed shut by several chains of unknown make and substance, which are attached to the inner corners of 076-1. SCP-076-2 resembles a lean, Semitic human male in his late 20s. Hair is black and eyes are gray, skin tone olive. He is 1.96 meters in height and 81.65 kilograms in weight. Numerous tattoos depicting arcane and occult iconography are present all over the body, mostly in the form of leering demonic faces, and ranges from subtle to openly ostentatious. When encased inside 076-1, he is technically dead. However, occasionally, 076-2 will awaken, effectively reanimating, complete with all vital processes needed to sustain a living human being. He will then attempt to leave 076-1. If successful, he will enter a trance state and seek out the nearest human being, ignoring all other living things in the process. Upon coming into contact with living humans, 076-2 will enter a rage state in which it attempts to engage and kill all human beings encountered. To date, only his death has been shown to be effective in ending these rampages. SCP-076 was found in Mongolia in the 19th century by archaeologists from England. All members of the expedition were subsequently killed on the return voyage home. 076 was recovered from the ship of an unknown organization and placed on display in their inner sanctum. 076 remained in storage for years, until 076-2 became active and escaped on his own. The reason for SCP-076's activation is currently unknown, but it was at this point that the keys to the outer shell were lost. A massive manhunt lasting over 3 years took place until 076-2 was incapacitated, killed, and reformed inside SCP-076-1, by then retrieved and secured by agents of the SCP Foundation.
Listen, paying $14.99 a month for a streaming app, and $9.99 a month for a music app, and $12.99 for a fitness app, and
by then retrieved and secured by agents of the SCP Foundation. 076-2 was in custody for 3 more years under constant supervision and was terminated whenever it became active, although it occasionally was able to escape for short periods of time, often due to security breaches caused by attacks from other organizations. SCP-076-2 either possesses a mind constructed much differently than our own or is completely insane. 076-2 has shown that he is completely disinterested in sex, barely differentiating between genders except as a form of visual identification. Also, 076-2 is a perfect sociopath that enjoys the act of killing, but causing pain, either emotionally or physically, holds no attraction to it. Intelligence tests have been wildly inconclusive when applied to 076-2, and no accurate result has yet been obtained. This is due to the fact that no communication is possible with 076-2 when he is in his rage state. However, 076-2 displays knowledge of several languages, including English, but most notable is its knowledge of several dialects of ancient Sumerian, which seem to be its preferred language. Considering SCP-076-2's proficient use of the Sumerian language, researchers have asked him to translate several documents. While he originally replied with disinterest, he has translated some of the documents it found worthy of its attention. Most of the documents chosen by 076-2 were regarding battles or legendary heroes, one of his favorites being the Epic of Gilgamesh. However, one researcher presented 076-2 with the symbol from SCP-073. Upon sight of this, 076-2 became highly enraged, killing several of the researchers before its kill switch could be activated. When questioned about this, 076-2 responded aggressively, and that line of questioning was immediately dropped. It is recommended anything pertaining to SCP-073 never be brought to the attention of SCP-076-2, and that the two are never to be in the same facility. Terminating 076-2 is often problematic due to its significant physical abilities. 076-2 has superhuman strength and speed, and although not invulnerable, he has shown a remarkable ability to ignore pain and shock, pressing on despite what would be debilitating wounds in normal humans. Prior encounters have shown that SCP-076-2 has the ability to rip through a reinforced steel security door over the course of 4 minutes of sustained assault. He could take multiple 50 caliber BMG rounds to the head and survive for several minutes to continue killing, despite severe damage to the cerebellum. He could also swat handgun and assault rifle caliber bullets out of the air with a length of steel rebar. Foundation's personnel have also seen him clear over 64 meters of distance in under 3 seconds, and survived for over 1 hour deprived of oxygen before finally asphyxiating. SCP-076-2's most unusual ability, however, is his ability to apparently materialize bladed weapons out of nowhere. Slow-motion video footage reveals that the blades in question are actually pulled from a miniature dimensional rift described as a small hole in space. Where this portal led is unknown, as is how 076-2 can generate said rifts. Footage of the blades in question shows them to be made out of a completely non-reflective black material, appearing as a black void in space. As the blades rapidly vanish after leaving the subject's possession, no structural analysis is possible at this time. However, having superhuman ability doesn't make him indestructible. 076-2 has effectively been killed several times in various manners, such as sustained fire from multiple heavy caliber machine guns, asphyxiation, crushed beneath a 13.6 metric ton piece of elevator equipment, and cremation through the use of a thermate TH3 grenade placed directly inside SCP-076-2's open chest cavity. Upon death, 076-2's remains will putrefy rapidly until reduced to dust. 076-1 and the coffin within will then slam shut with great force, and the lock will rotate, sealing it shut. 076-2 will then reform within the coffin. This process takes anywhere from 6 hours to 25 years. 076-2 has nothing but contempt for human beings, with one exception. He seems to hold a wary respect for those that acknowledges as its superior. This was discovered when a Foundation's agent who had previously had a large amount of experience with 076-2 did not appear once it escaped. 076-2 seemed distressed, asking several personnel where the agent was hiding. When he knew that the agent was killed as collateral damage in an airstrike intended to halt the advance of another SCP entity, SCP-076-2 stopped its rampage and allowed itself to be escorted and restrained. When asked about the sudden drastic changes in his behavior, 076-2 replied, "Because unlike you, he was a challenge, a real enemy. He managed to shoot me in the head over several times. A man like that deserves to die in combat, not in some destruction ordered by cowardly kings and princes safe in their palaces. The rest of you disgust me. I don't even have the urge to strike you down." This indicates a possible psychological inlet into SCP-076-2's mind and a possible control mechanism. Due to his high intelligence and physical abilities, he was put into an elite unit set up by
Done yet?
the SCP Foundation, named Mobile Task Force, MTF Omega-7, nicknamed Pandora's Box, tasked with containing supernatural, alien, and other mysterious phenomena. 076-2 was the leader of this task force, and members of the team personally selected from elite field agents by 076-2 himself in order to maintain a smooth relationship between the artifact and the mundane elements of the task force. 076-2 must wear a device attached to the neck that, if triggered or tampered with, will immediately detonate, terminating 076-2 by way of complete destruction of the spinal cord, trachea, and all major blood vessels in the neck. A tracking device also has been attached to 076-2. It was to refrain from killing unless ordered to do so and to avoid causing damage to the organization's facilities. Team members must be armed and equipped in accordance with MTF doctrine, as 076-2 has shown no inclination to use firearms, or, in fact, no understanding of their use or tactical implications. He was instead to be armed with one or more edged melee weapons of his choice. In a Project Omega-7's report, SCP-105 had been accepted into Mobile Task Force Omega-7, having beaten 076-2 in a contest to see which of the two could activate several devices, each spaced over a mile away from each other and the starting point. SCP-105 managed to score significantly higher than 076-2 by using her inherent abilities to her advantage. 076-2 ceded defeat and allowed her entry into the group. Despite the Foundation's effort in keeping 076-2 busy with trainings and tasks, he was still not satisfied. He's a perfect killing machine, and that's all he wants to do. The problem is, Foundation can't seem to turn him off. He started to lash out at the other team members. He then disabled the explosive collar failsafe and gone out of control. Containment Area 25 was forced to detonate its on-site warhead as a last attempt to contain SCP-076-2. This resulted in destruction of the site and all on-site personnel. SCP-076-2 is now kept in Containment Area 25B, located 200 meters below sea level, tunneled out of solid bedrock in a seismologically stable area. Sole access to the containment facility is to be through a vertical elevator shaft separated every 50 meters with a reinforced blast door constructed of 20-centimeter thick material shielding. Elevator shaft shall be flooded with seawater when not in use. Containment Area 25B is to be constructed with an outer security perimeter against outside threats, staffed by security personnel trained in close-quarters battle and counter-intrusion tactics. A primary containment zone is to be designed to be flooded and drained as needed, and should remain filled with seawater unless access to contents is required. Also, a 150-meter killing corridor, which is to be the sole access to the primary containment zone. A security station located at the entrance to the killing corridor is to be staffed with no fewer than 3 armed security personnel on watch at any one point in time. In the event of a full breach, all on-site staff are to proceed immediately to the closest security station for weapons and armor distribution. Staff will remain at Alert Condition 1 until SCP-076-2 is confirmed neutralized. Should 90 minutes pass after declaration of full breach without a stand-down order being given by Level 4 or higher personnel, final contingency measures will be activated, flooding the entire facility in seawater and sealing off the access shaft for a minimum of 24 hours before retrieval is attempted.
I did not.
This will, by necessity, result in the deaths of all on-site staff. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art.
Thank God,
A
I'm
big thank you to
tired.
all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to
Oh, great. Alright, I'm going to bed. Boo! Nah, I'm not going to bed yet. But I will play Rec Room, and then if I get tired, then I'ma end this stream. Still though, I'm tired. Hear my art. Just a regular white dipper. People call me Yaya. And the Rec Room is not working. Well, all they're gonna do is give me dresses and that's it. Rec Room gift card. Here I am. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, no Rec Room then. Guess I have to end this video. I mean, stream. Whatever. Alright. I'm tired. Bye. I'm gonna make this taco on TikTok and then get out. Oh god, I'm so tired. Oh.